What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Building Through Strength. I am your host, Kyle Penix, and this one's going to be an interesting one today. It's going to be very truthful because I feel like it's more deserved. I was on the phone call with a friend earlier today. Um, I can't really say much of a friend, but I was on the phone when we were talking about life. I was checking up on them, just seeing how everything was going. There was really good news. There was really bad news, and one of the most important parts of the phone call we were talking about was just authenticity, being who you are, staying true to who you are, and it really hit me because I've been vulnerable with you guys. I've told you guys, countless stories of me going through a breakup, me falling into depression for 6 years and not really knowing how to get out of it. But I don't think I've really opened up on why and how and what and when and where, all of that. But this is going to be the podcast that we do it. I really don't have a title for it yet. This one's going straight freestyle off the head, off the brain. Because I was taking Asher out on a walk, and I was just sitting here thinking about this, thinking about what this person told me. And I don't know, God told me, during the walk, just do this podcast. No chat GPT. Throw all of it out the window. And God said that He would, just give me the word, give me what I needed to say. So here we are, and it's just me and you talking to the podcast, talking to the camera with complete honesty, complete openness. So let's go ahead, and we're going to basically just dive straight down into it. So as you know, I was in a relationship for 4 years. Very toxic on my part. Great girl, amazing woman, amazing woman of God. Everything you could have wished for in a partner. That's who she was, and that's what she was. And I was still dealing with my parents' divorce from sophomore year of high school, going into college. Didn't really know how to deal with it. Like I said, I was always basing who I was as a person based off of my athletic performances, off of how well I could pull girls, how this and how that. And, I go into college. Her first day on campus, I was like, oh my goodness, I need this girl. She's beautiful, everything under the sun. And my heart wasn't in the right place at the time. So I'm just thinking, oh, this is going to be a quick little thing. Probably have her on the side or have her, one of those things. And, we start talking. Everything's going great. And then I'm starting to realize, okay, well, maybe I want this to be my girlfriend. Like, I really do like her. I really have, strong feelings about her. I'm going to try and pursue it. So we get into the relationship. Relationship's going great. We're in our little honeymoon cupcake phase. Everything is great and all. And come to Thanksgiving break or something like that, I go home, get in touch with an ex. Don't even remember how, but one thing led to another, and I ended up cheating on her back then, freshman year. Come back, and I didn't tell her because I was afraid of what was going to happen, scared of just her leaving me and all of this stuff, especially during the football season. Well, it was post football season, and I was promised to have a good sophomore year, and I needed her. And it was a selfish need though, and so we end up going down the road a little bit, and one thing leads to another. She ends up finding out, and she was broken, bro. She was torn apart, all that, and bro, it was bad. And my thing was, okay, well, I'll fix it. I'll do better. I'll try better, and we'll get back to where we were at first. And she took me back. I didn't deserve it, but she took me back. So we, go throughout the relationship again, sophomore year, get get caught dancing with a girl at a party, video and everything, bro. I got caught in 4K, um, and it was after our first win in like a year or so, first home win in I don't know how long. So everybody's celebrating. You know, a couple drinks got to me. I was completely in my flesh. No disregard for anybody else's feelings or anybody like anything anybody else was thinking but myself. And it happened, and then we ended up breaking up sophomore year. So we go through sophomore year, broke up for like a couple weeks or a month at a time, and but the thing is, like, we still lived on the same hall, we are still close together. So I kind of always tried to find my way back into her life, whether that was like walking out of my way to walk past her door or just trying pulling slick stuff to make myself seen by her. So we ended up like talking it out, reconciling, and we were in a relationship for I don't know how long, but it was like a private relationship. We didn't tell our friends, we didn't tell our parents, we didn't tell anybody. It was just us together. Not because like we were trying to make some cute little movie scene where like, oh well, we'll just be together so our parents won't notice, and even though we're not supposed to be, we will be, and we'll figure it out. So we ended up, it was good, it was great. Go through junior year, it was all right. Senior year, I'm like, keep in mind, I'm still dealing with these problems. She would bring me to church, and I would go with her for the simple fact that she wanted to go. I would, she would play like Madison Ryan Ward, for any of the gospel Christian music listeners out there. She's a really good artist, but at the time, I really didn't like Madison Ryan Ward because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to listen to not true gospel, or it was just new gospel, new Christian music, and I just didn't. I don't know. It was always messing with me, but I didn't. Not for the simple fact that I didn't like the music, because like I listen to her all the time now, but I don't know. It was I can't really tell you why. I just didn't like Madison Rhyme Ward, but that's not the subject. But yeah, so go through junior year, senior year, the injury happened. When I tore my meniscus, tore everything, um, and I was in probably one of the darkest places that I've been ever. I felt like I couldn't provide for family members. I felt like I couldn't provide for my team. I felt like I was letting everybody down. And the one thing that, like I said earlier, I based who I was and my personality off of picking up girls and sports, and how I was able to perform on the field. And that was taken away from me. So the only thing I had left was, you know, being the slick, smooth guy that I was. Um, and during this time, like, I'm doing so much stuff that, looking back on, it's honestly like disgusting, regretful. I just like, you know. But I was like, you know what, I'm comfortable in it. It's making me feel good for a little bit, so I'll be fine. I'll be okay as long as she doesn't find out. I'm okay. And we go throughout. Uh, I end up healing from the injury, and she, keep in mind, she's here, like, she's there with me throughout it all. But go throughout the injury, I'm okay, I'm good, and we, get to graduation, we graduate, And I've never been able to handle long distance relationships. It's always ended for me not on good terms or not in good things, not in a good fashion. So I was really worried about that, and I was always asking her to, move in with me so you're not so far, or I'll pay all of rent, and all you have to do is worry about working so you can save up for school. And it was just me running away from my problems. Honestly, I was just trying to escape any problems that were gonna come rather than just facing it head on, which ended up leading to a couple of weeks after we graduated. I It was just a lonely night, and I was in my flesh, and I cheated again. And it sucks that I could do that to a person who only wanted what was best for me, only was there for me when literally nobody else was. And I regret that every single day. Every single second of the day I regret it, because I was sitting there, I was being selfish. I was thinking about myself. I wanted what was best for me, even though it was a quick little dopamine hit. And like right after, I was so ashamed of what happened. I didn't have the confidence to say no. I didn't have the self discipline or the will to remove myself from the situation, because I was thinking to myself, yes, this is bad. This is really bad, but imagine how you were feeling before you had company, or imagine how you were feeling before anything else, and like now you feel better. And I at the time I did not know how to decipher God from the devil, or I didn't know how to decipher my spirit from my flesh. And it was one of those things where it was like, you know this will happen now. We'll throw it under the rug. Hopefully it doesn't show its nasty head eventually. And like the good book says, anything that's done in the dark will come to the light. And it did. Um, so she ends up finding out, and we ended up talking. And the first thing that I tried to do is continue to cover it up. Like I already knew she found out, but I tried to cover it up and say, "Oh no, she's lying. No, it didn't happen." And da 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 da. Like, but I don't know what it was that night of the breakup, but there was just something in me that was like, I can't keep, like, you can't keep hiding it anymore. You can't keep lying. There's no point. It's already over. You did what you did. Now it's time to man up. Own up to your mistakes, confess, and deal with the consequences. So at that point, I'm completely honest, saying, like, telling her what I did and how it happened, and everything under the sun. And seeing me seeing how bad that I truly did break somebody. It's a sickening feeling. If, like, I don't know how to really explain it. Like when I tell y'all, like my heart like dropped, sunk, and I I didn't really know how to handle it, because like I've been saying, like I've always wanted to be a provider. I've always wanted to help. I've always wanted to see what I can do for you to help you out and provide for you. But in that moment, it was the opposite flip. I was tearing her down, disrespecting her, even when, like, not, it wasn't even to her face, but it was behind her back in a way that it embarrassed her. And she had nothing to do with the situation. It was nothing but me. And like just looking back on it, thinking back on it every single day, it hurts. I can't lie to you, it hurts so bad. I didn't want to do this podcast, didn't want to make this episode, not for the transparency piece of it, but like now, like I have to live with my consequences. I have to live with my actions. And I mean, like everybody says, like, oh, if I could go back, I would do it all over again. I'd change it and this and that. But honestly, it's what you did. Like you did what you did, and clearly you didn't feel bad in the process. So what good is it feeling bad now? You know. But as as somebody who did cheat, as somebody who had a standard that they thought was supposed to be set higher for themselves and was way below that standard, bro, shit happens. Trying not to cuss that too much, but this is like honest to God truth. Stuff happens, bro. And if you aren't aligned with the right things, if your mind isn't set on the right things, it's so easy to fall into temptation. It's so easy to fall into sin. After after all of this happened, when I was, and then that night, I will never forget laying, like sitting in my bed, couldn't sleep, and it's like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'm just praying to God, like, God, please never let me hurt a woman like this again. Please never let me hurt anybody like this again. And I was going through it. I can't lie to you, like it just hurt. But I think like I've said in previous episodes, God truly does break us down to build us up, to set us up for more, to set us up for better. And it was something that I needed. If bro, when I tell you I was so suicidal, like there was a night where when I tell you I was this close, I was so close to just ending it. But I don't know what it was. Megan ended up calling me one night, and I was like, I'm literally walking to my car, about to get something out of my car. And Megan calls me. It's like, hey, why are you at your car? And I'm like, oh, I had to just get some pre-workout or whatever for the morning. And I grabbed it, went back to the room, and dealt with that. But like, if you don't know how to handle yourself, how are you supposed to know how to take care of the people around you? And that's not just your girlfriend. That's not just your wife. That's not just, if any women listening to us, not just your husband or your boyfriend. That could be your friends. That could be siblings. It could be parents, honestly. If you don't know how to handle yourself, you cannot handle anybody else around you. You cannot provide for them. You cannot take care of them because you're not taking care of yourself. I truly was one of those people who never believed in hurt people until I was a hurt person who hurt someone. I was always the one who was like, bro, that's just a saying. It's not like, bro, it's very real. Hurt people all will forever hurt people. If you're not healed right, then you can never be there for somebody who needs you to be there for them. And this goes for other people out there. Like if you're on the flip side of it, if you're the ones who got cheated on, you it's okay to stay in a certain extent. I'm I If they're not willing to change, and I truly mean if they're not willing to change, the second that you see that reverting back to their ways, leave. You're not worth the pain. You're not worth the heartache. They're not worth the pain. I'm gonna say that they're not worth the pain. They're not worth the heartache. They're not worth the nights crying over, bro. They're not worth it. And honestly, like it's it's a terrible feeling. It truly is a terrible feeling when you're on the giving end of that. When you're um, the one who deals the damage, and you and you truly do care for that person. It it was never a, oh, I'm gonna do this because bump her. I don't really like her. I don't care for her. No, it was never none of that. I still have love for Megan till this day. I still love her very, very deeply. Still have love for her very, very deeply. I just wasn't able to deal with my own problems, and I wasn't able to love myself. I was never able to truly accept myself for who I was. Bro, I was never able to truly accept myself for who I was and walk with God and trust God for His plan for me. I always knew He had a plan for me, but I never really truly trusted that plan. And ultimately, every time he, every time that I was given a problem, every time I was given a situation or a test of my faith, of who I was as a man, of who I was as a person, every time I was tested of the man that I wanted to become, I failed. Not gonna lie to you, I failed that test every single time because I just wasn't in my word. I didn't have that relationship with God. I didn't know how to decipher the Holy Spirit from my flesh or my wants from my needs. And bro, looking back on it, that's a terrible, like that's a scary feeling, not knowing, to not being able to decipher the good from the evil or what you need from what you want. Um, and bro, if anybody's listening right now, I'm begging you right now. You have to find a way to be able to decipher that. You know, it got to a point where physically I was in the gym till I couldn't lift my arms anymore, or I was too exhausted to lift the weights. Mentally, I was drained. Mentally, I was so depressed and sunken down. It was like I was in an ocean with no raft, and I kept trying to swim up, and it was never going anywhere. Spiritually, I was dead. Spiritually, I had no relationship with God. Didn't know. I knew God, but I didn't trust God enough. Didn't talk to Him enough. Couldn't hear Him enough. And after that night of just talking to Him, saying, God, just clean me. God, just give me a clean heart. And the Bible says that just praying, having that relationship with God, he's going to come through for you. He's going to follow through for you. And in the worst times, the worst times, when you feel like you're alone, when you feel like you're lonely, when you feel like nobody's around you, that's when God is the closest to you. That's when God is drawing nearest to you, because He knows that's when you need Him. He knows that's when you're going to call on Him, and He wants to be there. But if you don't call on Him, if you don't ask for Him to enter your life, enter your heart, clean your heart, He's not going to, because he's not able to. We talk about how God gives us free will. This is the free will that He's giving us. It's like He wants to, and He's like, come on, come on, come on. Like, just ask me, it's like WWE wrestling. If you sitting there and you getting, messed up, um, wrestling, and your tag teammate is sitting there like, hey, tag me in, I'm good. I'm like, let me handle this. I can handle this. And you're not tagging them in. You're just gonna sit there and you're gonna get beat up. That's honestly what it is. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna get beat up, and it's gonna get to a point like where you're just gonna have to eventually, or you're just gonna get got. And for me, it got to a point where I was just getting got. You know. So as soon as I called on God, I'm telling y'all, the next morning, I promise you, like the next morning when I woke up, I just got in my Bible, started reading, started building that relationship with God, started you know, talking to him about everything that I did wrong and saying, God, I don't want to be this person anymore. And bro, he changed it. He changed all of it. And like, I always look back, I always think back on it, like, dang, like, if only I had God in this relationship, if only I was able to lead Megan in a way that God intended for me to lead her. God intended for me to carry this relationship as a man, not only giving her shoes, clothes, paying for hair, nails, all that stuff, but if I could have just led her by just saying like saying, hey, I had a bad day, like, I'm not feeling too good. There were times where she could see a problem in me, and I would always be like, nah, I'm just tired. Nothing's wrong. I'm just tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. When truly, like, just the weight of the world was just weighing down on me. But I just never wanted to bring it up because I didn't want to feel like a burden, and I didn't want her to feel like it was a problem for her or for me. I was trying to be strong-minded and strong-willed. In actuality, I was being weak-minded and weak-willed because I tried to solve those problems on my own. Tried to suppress my feelings and suppress what I was going through on my own. And we see where that got me clearly. Um, and the the reason why I wanted to make this episode specifically is to show you guys what happens when you don't go to people with problems, when you don't go to God with your problems. It's more of when you don't go to God with your problems, first off. But then when you don't go to people, second off, you can spiral very, very, very quickly. The enemy wants you to solve your problems on your own. The enemy wants you to have it figured out on your own. The enemy wants you to say, I got this. Like the whole time when you're like, you know what, I got this, I'm good. The enemy's like, yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. You don't need nobody. You don't need nobody. And the whole time while he's hyping you up, he's just bringing in every bit of childhood trauma, every bit of um, lustful thought or anything that's not of God. He's just bringing it in like, yeah, you remember when this used to make you feel good? You got this on your own, so I'm gonna give you this and make you feel even better. And I fell into it. I really did fall into it. But bro, now looking back, oh man, it's like never again. Truly never again. Because like just talking to God now, it's so exciting. Talking to God about my problems, being like, God, I had a rough day. God, my dog over here making me mad. I had a coworker who's sitting here gossiping at work, telling everybody's business, and I really don't want to hear it. Just being able to have that counselor, um, man, it's a great feeling because you don't feel as alone. You don't feel lonely. You have somebody to talk to, and when you build that relationship with God, you build that trust and that talk with God, that He's there. He listens to you. He talks back. That's the biggest thing, is that God talks back. That Holy Spirit is going to talk back to you if you listen. If you are truthful about what's going on. If you're truthful about the problems that you're having. Put it on God. Every single time, put it on God. And He's going to listen to you every single time. Every single time. For anybody who's out there, um, if you're on my end, stop it. If you're still in that relationship and you're doing things that you don't need to be doing, we've seen what happened with the old boy from the Coldplay concert, bro. It, everything that's done in the dark will come to the light. Stop it, please. I'm telling you, bro, it's not worth it. Confess your sins. Talk to God about what's going on. Talk to God about what's happening in your life, and ask Him to cleanse your heart. Ask Him to make that vision that he has for you plain. Build that relationship with him. For anybody who's on the other end, on the receiving end, if you have gotten cheated on, it's not your fault at all. You may have times where you're thinking, oh, what could I have done better, or how could I have helped, how could I have done this. It's not your fault. If you have truly extended your hand and said, let me help you, I want to help you, and they still did not look for your help, you can't do anything about that. That's totally not up to you. That's completely between them and God. All honesty, it's completely between them and God. And it sucks, but it gets better. It really does get better. God does break us down. He does give us challenges and give us hard and tough times so he can build us up and set us up for something that's so much greater, so much better. And you have to trust that. You have to believe that. You have to follow him on that journey and on that line that he has set out for you. Because it's gonna be better. You just have to trust and you have to follow and you have to believe that. I really don't know what else to say, but it's this one had to be said. Honestly, I was asked the question and told to talk about it, and I talk about vulnerability. I talk about the problems that I'm dealing with, and all of this stuff. And I talk about, oh, if I'm going through something, I want somebody else to not have to go through the same thing if they're dealing with the same problems. And this was a problem that I had for the longest, and I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to talk about it, or I was kind of too ashamed to talk about it. But bro, praying to God, talking to God about it, like there's no more shame in it. It's only learning and moving on and growing. So I really do appreciate you for listening to this. I really do hope that you were able to gain something from this, um, whether that's words of encouragement, um, a, a stop doing this if you saw this as a warning shot or anything. If you're able to gain anything from it, thank you for listening. I ask that you like, comment, share it with your mama, grandma, auntie, uncle, daddy. If you got a dog, put it on that TV so the dog can see it while you go to work. It don't matter. But keep moving forward. That's all you can do is keep moving forward. And you gotta remember now, forever and for always, keep 2 feet down, keep one head up, y'all. 143. Peace.
Bro, you are messing with literally everything right now. You didn't chewed up everything.